Alright, y'all. We are on a part 2 because yesterday I made a video on this and it was oh wow. Geez, I hope that wasn't part of yesterday. Anyways, I was winding this up at work after we had put the mainspring in yesterday, and it well, I'll show you. Does this. Keeps winding, winding, and winding, and winding, and winding. So I know that the arbor is good. I know it's not the arbor. So I'm thinking that the spring may have came out of that hole, because it felt like it stopped, and I think I accidentally went too far. And at work, it's loud where I work at, so I didn't hear anything, but I could feel it, and it felt like it released. So we're gonna have to disassemble this thing, and we're gonna have to take the spring out. Maybe, we'll see. I may be able to do this without taking the spring out, but more than likely it's probably gonna have to come out. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. I have done some of these without having to take the spring out. Sometimes you can get lucky. And but this one here, I'm not really sure until we further investigate. So let's first start off with the hands. Yeah, I did all this yesterday, and it was running good. I mean, it was doing its thing. It wound up. It wound all the way to the top, and I usually don't fully wind my watches. I usually stop when it gets to where you can start to feel it, about come to the end. That's the point where I usually quit winding. Like I said today I just went just a little bit too much, and that's all it took. Now there is a chance this thing could be broke. I'm not gonna leave that off the table either, because these are new old stock springs, and they can break. So, I'm trying to get stuff situated here. Alright, let's let down the mainspring. Let's do that first, and then we'll get into the movement here. So yeah, I'm not really super excited here about taking all this back apart, but it's got to be done. So it's not going to work unless it's taken apart. So we have to take it apart. I'd like to thank everybody for joining. Thank all my new subscribers. If you are subscribed, I appreciate you. It helps the channel out, and hopefully you may pick up a few tips. Maybe a few tips of what not to do. Maybe a few tips of what you can do. So, like I said, I'm an amateur at this. I'm a hobbyist. I don't make clocks. I do this just on my spare time. And, like I said, sometimes things just, they don't go well. But, that's all part of it. When you do this for a hobby, you're not, it's not a paid job. Of course, if it was a paid job, I'd have to be doing this a whole lot different. I'll zoom you all in as best I can, and then I try. Cause I zoom in too much, and y'all don't see nothing but my damn fingers. And sometimes y'all see nothing but my damn head. So I'm gonna take these screws out first. What I do is I loosen them all the way up so you can hear it camming. You'll hear them backing out, and they just can't go no more, so they gotta make a camming sound. That's what we call it. Maybe another word for it. I think my tweezers are out of line there. I've used these so much lately. All my tools are getting to where they're just getting beat up. These are ceramic tips. I like using these ceramics because they don't scratch. But they don't seem to be lined up anymore. Well, they're not the best of quality either. I mean, the ceramic part is, but the tweezers aren't. I had these ceramics came from another tweezer I had, and I just borrowed them. So we'll see what we're dealing with here in just a second. Let's see if it's on. I know it's on that arbor. Yeah, I can feel that. I feel some tension on there. So I know that part of it's good. Let's go ahead. I thought about servicing this whole watch again. Thought about just taking it all apart, cleaning it. It's just got the amplitude's dropped a little bit, so I'm kind of wondering if that spring might have broke. If it did, this will be the third one. Well, the second one. I have the original one, so I can put that back in it. I kept the original one just in case. Use it for measuring, but also wasn't broke. I changed it out because I was trying to gain some amplitude, and I did a service on it, and I said, well, there's a guy on eBay who has a good sum of them, and I ordered 2 so far. First one I got broke. Wasn't his fault. Oh my goodness, the top is off. Wow. Yeah, this thing might have broke. Might exploded. I want to see here in just a second. I see a bunch of parts in here. Let's see what we got. Let's see here. Let's see if we got. Did that just come from this? Usually if it's broke, you'll see a bunch of cracks in there. Like you'll see a bunch of, like this won't all be together. you'll see it'll be separated, and then because it's under tension, it'll be split. It doesn't look like it's broke. Yeah, came out. See it? I don't know if you can see that, but right there in that little slit right there should have been the tail end of the spring. It's not in there. So what I can do is I'm going to have to manipulate this around, and I'll see if I can get that in there. So let me see what I can do. It's going to be hard for y'all to see this, but I'm going to take a piece right there. It's hanging up. I'm going to take my fingernail and I'm going to push it over. I'm going to zoom out because you're going to see nothing but my fingers if I don't. I'm going to push it back over. And then I'll see. I'm looking for when it lines back up. So if you look now, if you can see it, you'll see that there's steel is now in that little slit. You see the steel back in there now? So now it's back in where it needs to be. So when that thing let loose, it took the top off of it. And that's what happens. And that's what I say when I talk about these springs being dangerous, I ain't joking. Man, these things will hurt you. Okay, so now it's fully back in there. I know it's going to be hard to see this, but you see how that space is no longer there now? How it's covered in with steel? Y'all can see that? So now the spring is seated back where it needs to be. And now the damn lid will fit back on there. So I'm going to try to push that down as much as I can because I want that to really be seated. If it was too high, it would cause the lid not to fit right. The lid would come off. So maybe that's just what, maybe it was just a little bit too high. Because you gotta have room for that lid. It has to sit down inside here. So sometimes when you're winding it by hand, you might not notice it, but the spring, it might come up a little bit. So that's why winding these things by hand is not the preferred method. It's, should use a mainspring winder, but hell with it. My watch, my way. Alright, now I want to see if maybe this damn lid will fit on there better. Yeah. Might have it on upside down. Got numbers on it. Yeah, I see them numbers. I think that's the bottom side. I think the numbers are the bottom side. I think this lid has been pressed off and on so much, I think it's kind of took a different shape. So I kind of just put it back flat again. It looked like it bent. It was kind of bent up a little bit. And that's probably just from taking it off with a screwdriver, pushing up on it. I think it just bends it out of shape a little bit. Okay, so you want your lid needs to be nice and seated. Should have a nice, should be sitting below that, sitting below there. I'm just going to take this off camera just for a second so I can make sure this is down in there. I had a piece that did this, but y'all know some bitch cracked. It didn't last. Alright, let's put this back in there. Well, let's put that piece back on there first, huh? Well, let's put this in there. Only fits one way. Alright. I tell you, one thing that worries me is little holes right there. You know, I don't want to strip them out. So that's always been my biggest thing. But yeah, so that was a problem. But alright, y'all. I'm gonna tear this down, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a good cleaning. But I just want to show you all what happened last night. I mean, not last night. I mean, today I was at work. My mainspring decided to take a ride. So if that ever happens, that's one thing you can check. So you got three things, or four, I guess you could say. You either the arbor is just turning, broken mainspring. As you see what happened there, how it came out the bottom. Let's see, what did I say? Four things. Oh shoot. Broken spring. So that'll just give you a few things you can check, and maybe that'll help you out. All right, y'all. I'm gonna button this up. I mean, not button them up. I'm gonna take this down and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good cleaning. So I just want to give you all a quick share, and I thank everybody here, man. Thank y'all for joining. And yeah, man, it's been a day. I'll see y'all soon.